Wow, dude. You did a great job tweeting. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
I could retweet. Look at what Nathaniel said. But alright, so we're just here in the load screen. But it is the monthly finals for the OlimoLeague, guys. It's a weekly Korean tournament. This is the second monthly final. We made it! Woo! Sadly, we did not get to cast the first one live as it happened during IEM Toronto. But nonetheless, this is our first OlimoLeague monthly finals. I'm stoked for it. All the bracket information can be found in combination Reddit as well as the bracket commands in chat if you guys want to see who's playing what. The schedule for today, though, before we do these introductions, first we'll be casting Journey versus Symbol, as we see right now, followed by Marine King versus Impact, then both the semifinals and the grand finals. So sit tight, there's a lot of good StarCraft ahead of you. Spawning here in the bottom left corner of the map, though, currently teamless, looking for a team actively. It's the Green Terran player, Journey.
Never writes Oz the Red Zerg. It's Symbol. Currently playing for MVP.
Everybody is, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, who isn't?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Yesterday during the cast, I tried my hardest. I didn't get any sleep. And I tried my hardest not to open this can of Monster. And my stream, of course, eventually goaded me into it. So I got like 3/4 a can of Monster for today. I got a can of Red Bull. I got my water. I'm ready to freaking go for today's cast. This is gonna be a good one.
I'm alright. Pretty early. You know, for just comparing energy levels, I guess.
Well, sorry, I was just trying to be like, yeah, I'm excited. Like, good things.
It's okay. It's alright. Yo, legit though, I had no idea this WECG thing was going on. I just like woke up and I was like, ah, there's like already StarCraft on? That's weird.
Yeah, well, it's I don't know, it's an interesting time of the year. I kind of feel like, especially this week, is when everyone's trying to squeeze things in. It's like the one time there's not a lot of other major events to clash with, although Korea kind of has its own time zone that's not so reliant upon it. But I mean, there's like 4 tournaments going on like tomorrow. It's gonna be a pretty ridiculous week for StarCraft fans.
You know, many countries around the world have their own time zones.
Oh, hey, query. Nathanius is offered to come hop on for like some of the Terran games. You want to grab him for Marine King versus Impact?
Okay.
Okay.
Add a lot of bias to the cast. I mean, you know,
There's like 3 Terrans in the cast. Yeah, I know, right? But okay, cool. I'll go message my Skype real quick.
He gets paid too much to even like, you know, find his own freaking Twitch link. He's doing casting with us.
Right?
Whatever.
Alright, sorry guys. Anyways, focusing on the game now, we are actually all set up and good to go. We actually don't have Symbol opening with anything too insane. The Reaper has, of course, arrived in base, but what I like, and we really don't get to talk about this enough, only 4 lings were made. So often we see the extra 2, so either you've got 6 purely on the defense, or the 2 that try and sneak across the map, but it is the best Zerg player, in my opinion, that can hold with 4, and while it is nitpicking at getting that 1 extra drone out, it does help in the long run.
Yeah. I always wonder why they get 6 if they don't send 2 of them across the map. It's like, do you really need 6? Are you like, even if you're afraid of them going for 3 Reapers, like, you're gonna have the Queens, so yeah, I don't know. But you know, the fact is that no one really goes to Reapers anymore unless it's a very good map for it. So either this or Catalina would probably be the best 2-3 Reaper maps, but everyone's just going for the Marine openers afterwards, so they can kill the Overlords, scare the Zerg player. Or in Journey's case, just go out on the map and raise hell.
Well, you know, we always there's like always the perfect way to play StarCraft 2, and then there's the way that a lot of players play. And I can't help but think the whole thing with like the 6 lings kind of comes down to like those same players who don't do the double evil chamber wall offs and like take the damage from the Hellions. It's always one of those things where it's better to have and not need than the other way around.
I feel like sometimes we're so critical about those no evo walls, and like it's
a big deal. It really is.
No,
we see
it
the
is a
best
big deal.
players like die
It
to that.
It is a big deal. But it's like, you know, it's like the 1 or 2 games that they forget. You know, they're like, oh shit, it's like 6:30 as opposed to, you know, 6 minutes or whatever. I get them on my evo chambers. And they just throw them down, and they don't wall off. And then they watch the cast, and they're like, come on, guys, like the one time, I didn't mean to.
It just sounds like we're making a bad story, guys. But when you cast enough games, you see it happen so regular, it sticks out. But Journey's got both the watchtowers. There's an aggressive amount of creep being spread, and you also saw that third with the Hellions. So while he's not exactly gearing up to do something that's a crazy all-in to begin with, he is setting his way up in the game pretty nicely. Now, it's worth noting, this is very important, he didn't go for a starport, but 2 extra Raxes to follow this up.
Yep. I mean, well, he went for third CC, so... We do see a lot more starport openers, though, so you can kind of come to... It's kind of come to a time where it is more surprising they don't put on the starport. You know, whether it's the medevac dropper or the Banshee openers or the Viking opener. But no, this is like as standard as it gets for Journey. Simple, on the other hand, is going like really freaking queen heavy. What is this? It's going up to 7 queens.
Well, this and the Spine Crawler just... I kind of can't help but wonder if this is just... I want to say it's scared of Hellbats, but then, of course, he's going Lings instead of Roaches, so I can't really justify why he's gotten so queen heavy, but it'll give him a lot of creep spread, which is nice. That's
yeah,
for
a
sure.
lot of creep spread. I mean, it does make it easier to hold off against the Hellions. There's no chance that, you know, if you have 1, it could get targeted down. If you have 2, technically they'd be targeted down, but when you have 5, I guess the Hellions ain't gonna scare you.
Well, Journey's stim coming up pretty nicely. No, this is really nice too out of Journey, by the way. We talk about like whether it's the starboard opener like this, whether it's aggression, but he's actually surprisingly been playing this incredibly passive to the point where I actually almost don't like it. Like, he's got a really nice setup. His macro's going to be on the way here in a moment, and he'll have units to fight with, especially with that 3rd CC drop of mules and eventually transferring over. But I mean, he's not really stopped creep at all. These Hellions have not done much of anything. It's not exactly been a very map control oriented opener.
I've never seen Queen take a Zelnaga before. But,
well, you know, like
that's just
Jadon
what
proxy hatching a Terran. There's the first for everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. Alright then. Well, Symbol, I thought he was going to do something a little weird because he took kind of, you know, gas a little bit early. But no, just upgrades. 4 more gases. 3rd base. You know, did he ever get a Baneling nest, though? No.
No, he didn't, but this is an interesting spot for that 3rd base. Typically in Classic, we just see it over here time and time again, but it's always that interesting dynamic where you don't take this, and that's where Symbol's looking. You know, Symbol doesn't have the Zelnaga Tower here on the south end. He doesn't have an Overlord over here. As far as he's aware, I mean, this Overlord would have seen the command center move over, right?
17 creep tumors in production.
Well, creep tumors aside, Neomedite's Carapace is on the way, but that's not going to help him versus this small push. Journey is cleaning up a lot of the creep that he wasn't able to touch earlier, and the nice thing about this is while he doesn't have combat shields just yet, they're like right about to finish. So +1 weapons, +1 armor combat shields. This is what we call a timing, guys.
Yeah, I mean, Symbol, obviously having Banelings will make this a lot easier, but you need, you know, good map presence. Or watching the mini-map will just, you know, if your Lings are in position, then you can stop the drop, but...
Ooh, those planes.
Yeah, I mean... If he loses a couple, what's the big deal? He has like
I guess, yeah, he's got 3 more than normal to back it up. Cat's having 9 lives and all that. But Woodmine production has started behind this. He's even going for that extra factory early. Usually we see the Tech Lab one come down for the research and the siege tanks and the Thors much later in the game, but I mean, Journey's not really been under any pressure.
Yeah.
He's able to just kind of do what he wants. You don't really see this for Terran players a lot of the time.
People are getting the Thors like earlier and earlier. Like 2 factory before 12 minutes is being pretty common. But yeah, so like this, you know, Symbol doesn't really have anything that really scares him. So no Banelings. I mean, like even if he like misclicks and doesn't automatically pick up, he will not lose his Marines. He just, you know, it's about 5 seconds right here. We can still pick up. But chooses not to actually. I guess focusing on the other.
Yeah, where the Banelings were, I guess a little bit more scary than the Zerglings. What mind control there is actually kind of nice. You don't see it a lot, but even just unburrowing to prevent it from going off in that 1 ling is kind of a big deal. Blue Flame to follow this up, though. I'm loving this. We're seeing this more and more out of Terrans lately, where you open with the Woodenbinds, but you transition into Hellbats. Of course, you'll keep Woodenbind up protection up when and where you can, but Hellbats are going to be a lot better bottom line damage and guaranteed damage versus a lot of Zerglings and specifically Banelings.
Wow, 13 more drones, and he's already at 78. He goes up to 90 drones.
I mean, the logic is, you know, I would say so if he wasn't on 4 bases, but I mean, the logic's going to be like, yeah, he's got lower supply counts, but he's going to be able to replenish them faster, right?
I suppose.
I mean, it's the only thing I can think of, like, why you would actively go for 90 drones, because he's not throwing out spine crawlers. It's not like you've made swarm hosts, right? So that's my best guess on the why.
Yeah, he's just been under so much pressure.
I mean,
You know, that's
Inject's
usually. Yeah, he does have a macro hatch.
he's
It's not
got
like
a
he's running
macro
out of
with a
larva.
dedicated queen to it as well. I mean, there's so many queens for this guy.
Yeah, he has to have a lot of production. He's really
How
going
many
to
queens in
skyrocket
total?
in
He's got
supply.
9. He's got 9 queens in total. That's more supply. So it's like 90 drones. Another like, what is that? Like 18 in queens. He's gonna have the smallest army in the world to fight with.
Yeah, it's true. It's a good point. This army not looking very impressive, honestly, when you look at it, especially when it's going to add in those Hellbats and maybe a Thor later on. But as long as the creep is buying him time, he can feel pretty confident in taking any engagement. Oh, but big drop in the main, and there's nothing here to defend. A couple of links and through the ones that are defending drops
The
actually
Banelings
do
should be
join.
okay.
Yeah, no target fire. Journey was focused on the other side of the map.
Take some losses on both ends. You know, for having such a small amount of units, though, Symbol is working quite well with all of them. I mean, the Lings have been under most of the medevacs this game. He hasn't really thrown away a lot of Banelings. I guess the big thing is what we're seeing is with the heavier drone count and the heavier queen count, the Mutalisk count suffers ever so slightly, with only about 5 to what's soon to be 15.
Yeah. Again, though, most people aren't going very muta heavy, so 15 is actually a
Yeah.
pretty good number with +1 fire attack. You know, he's still. How many? Okay, he's only 1 drone has actually been lost. Not many work kills at all for either player. But 2-2 has finally finished for Journey. Symbols was a little bit farther ahead actually, like quite a bit. But now they're on even footing. Journey going into the I don't know, the choke of death.
Yeah. The choke of wonderment, I think, is a better way to describe it, because it's never really like the choke of death for one player guaranteed. We always see the weirdest turnarounds for that fight, but get caught out here in the middle. The helmet's on the wrong side of the Marines, so unfortunately they do almost nothing to the Zerglings. Decent Widowmine shot goes off. Gets about 17 Zerglings with this, and suddenly Symbol has to turn around.
Yeah, Simba a little overzealous with how how much he was pressuring there. Like burst all of his Banelings on the Thors and the Hellbats, which is what the Terran wants. So Journey takes a good engagement there, but Symbol goes directly into the main. There aren't any missile turrets at all. Oh,
It pulls right away. Thor popping out's not going to be enough, but the Marines might just be.
oh, gets Hamley deep in a barracks. That's a pretty cool. And yeah, the Thor popping out's gonna help out. I guess I thought.
Oh, medevacs, please.
Carrying something, but they're not.
Okay, so this gets a little bit scary there for Journey for a moment, but he recovers pretty quick. Lots of turrets coming down. This always seems to be the case. You know, there's never the preemptive turrets. It's always the, okay, FU turrets, right?
Yeah.
But, oh, this one's going to go down here, too. A little bit late to that pull.
I wonder if those changing are supposed to try and block out the full surround from the SCVs.
That'd be kind of cool.
It would have been super cool, but also, like, I feel super hard to actually do.
Ooh. This isn't going to go too well. Widowmine might get a good shot off, but there's no way the Widowmine kills all of these Zerglings. So 4th base in potential danger. We'll see if it makes it to a planetary or not. Oh, there's Banelings, though.
Yeah, there's Banelings as well. I mean, there aren't a whole lot of SCVs over here. It's not like this is like a, a desperation fourth that he's transferring all of his workers to.
Ooh.
And I'd be really surprised if Simba went ahead and, like, tried to kill it with Banelings.
Well, he doesn't, actually. Very intentionally segments them off towards the Marines. A very intelligent way to use those, because there's no way you would have actually killed that CC, and it would have been just a big throw of units. But on the left side of the map, while that was going on, these Banelings starting to roll in full force. Thor's out of position. This one bunker. SCVs run!
Oh, no!
Oh, whoa, should have lifted that. Wasn't expecting him to go for the Banelings, I suppose. So it does take out not one, but 2 bases, essentially.
I mean, we consider, like, how greedy Symbol has been with his drone count, and his production is just insane. He has a big bank. Whenever he loses Banelings, it's not a big deal.
Journey's in a shocking amount of trouble. Use these blue flame Hellbats, man. Oh, nope, they're going to go down for nothing. He's just going to go for the push.
Oh god, this isn't gonna work. It's Symbol, like, yeah, he just lost all of his, like, Banelings, but he just remade them so quickly, and there's no room to split here.
Oh my god, Journey just got destroyed. There's no other way to describe that. That was... What happened, Journey? Game number 1 goes to Symbol.
I'm not sure. I felt like he had such a good opportunity. Like, there was no Banelings, there was no Mutas for such a long time. Did no damage, and Symbol felt so comfortable, he went up to 90 drones. No big deal.
I'm just shocked that he was able to bully with 90 drones. The way that went, everything went bad quick at the end of the game.
It was just like, normal, and then Symbol, like, money and production.
Just like, So it's loser's pick in the OlimoLeague, guys. We're gonna let Journey pick his map next, and we'll host that up here in a second. Try not to play the ad break right now, but wait until the series is done. But if he takes too long to respond, I might just pop up that ad break. In the meantime, though, we gotta give some love to Smash. He resubbed during that game. Go add you here to the overlay, sir. Thank you very much for